Most people buy the wrong tent, not a bad tent, the wrong one for how they actually camp. And this is a more expensive mistake than it sounds. Because if you buy a backpacking tent for car camping trips, you spend $300 to sleep in something cramped when you could have had a palace for $129. And if you buy a car camping tent for backpacking, you spend 2 miles of trail carrying something that belongs in your trunk. Either way, you've made a $150 to $400 decision without the framework to make it correctly. Last episode in the full kit build series, we covered sleeping bag temperature ratings, the number that matters before everything else. This episode is the tent decision, and I'm going to give you a framework that takes this from a gear purchase to a logical output. By the end of this video, you will know which type of tent belongs in your kit, not which tent, which type. The specific products come after the framework. Here's why this is confusing. The outdoor gear industry does not make the distinction between these categories obvious. Everything is marketed to everyone. 3-season performance, great for adventures, durable and packable. These phrases mean different things to different use cases, and the spec sheets bury the metric that actually tells you which category you're in, the weight. I pulled spec data on the most popular tents across both categories and cross-referenced with to build out a decision framework anyone can apply before they spend $1. The decision framework. Before we look at any product, here is the single question that determines your tent category. Are you hiking more than 2 miles to your campsite? If yes, you need a backpacking tent. If no, you need a car camping tent. That's it. Every other consideration, weather, rating, ventilation, livability, is important, but secondary to this. The 2-mile threshold exists because at 2 miles with a full overnight pack, weight becomes a meaningful physical variable. Under 2 miles, it's irrelevant. The extra 3 pounds stays in the car. I want to be clear about what this framework is and isn't. It's not about how serious of a camper you are. It's not about aspirational gear choices. It's about matching the tool to the job. A chef's knife is not better than a butter knife for spreading butter. It's a different tool for a different job. Car camping tents, what you actually get. Car camping tents are built for a different set of priorities. Here's what that looks like in the specs. Weight 5 to 15 pounds depending on size. This weight goes in your trunk, not on your back, it doesn't matter. Interior space, this is where the car camping tent wins completely. A 2-person car camping tent will have 35 to 45 plus square feet of floor space. You can sit up, change clothes without touching the walls, store your full pack inside. This is the livability advantage that backpacking tents cannot match at equivalent price. Ease of setup, most car camping tents use color-coded poles and intuitive clip systems. Setup time, 10 to 15 minutes the first time, 5 to 7 minutes after that. Price range, $80 to $300 for quality options. The low end of this range is genuine. You can get a solid 2-person car camping tent under $100 that will last 3 to 5 years with reasonable care. Weather resistance, adequate for the conditions most recreational campers encounter, typical summer weather, some rain. Not engineered for sustained rain or wind above 20 mph at altitude. Backpacking tents, what you actually get. Backpacking tents solve the problem car camping tents don't have. They disappear into a pack. Weight under 4 pounds is the practical threshold for backpacking tents. Under 3 pounds is the ultralight category. The reason for this threshold: in a 35 to 40 L pack carrying 3 to 4 days of food and gear, shelter represents the largest single weight variable you can control. Interior space, 25 to 35 square feet for a 2-person tent. This is smaller than the car camping equivalent. The trade-off is known and accepted: you save weight, you give up some floor space. Pack size should compress to roughly the size of a 32-ounce water bottle or smaller. If it doesn't fit that profile, it's a heavy backpacking tent, and you should check the weight first. Setup freestanding models, the category most beginners should start with, stake out quickly and stand without tent peg-dependent tension. This matters when you're setting up in fading light after a long day on trail. Price range, $150 to $500 plus. The quality floor for a real backpacking tent is higher than car camping. Below $150, you're in compromised territory for pole geometry and waterproofing. The mistake most beginners make. Grant, this is a 3-person backpacking tent. I bought it for car camping trips. Grant, you can hear the mistake from here. The mistake most beginners make is buying a backpacking tent because it sounds more serious than car camping tent. Backpacking tent implies capability, toughness, adventure. So they spend $250 to $400 on a backpacking tent, use it twice at a car campsite, and wonder why camping isn't as comfortable as their friend's setup, which cost $129 and has twice the floor space. The inverse mistake also exists, buying a car camping tent because it has more room, then discovering at the trailhead that it weighs 8 pounds and takes up most of the pack. Neither tent is wrong. Both tents are wrong for the wrong use case. Before the recommendations, the full gear list, what to buy first and in what order, is at gearmadesimple.com/kit. If you're building out your first kit from scratch, start there. It maps out the sequence so you don't end up with 7 tents and no sleep system. Link in the description. Specific recommendations by tier. Best car camping under $150. Coleman Sundome 2-person. The Coleman Sundome is the standard recommendation in this category for a reason. Setup time under 10 minutes. Welded floors and inverted seams for weather resistance adequate for recreational car camping. The ePort integrated cord port is a detail that matters more than it should at 2 a.m. when your phone is dead. Under $60 at time of filming. This tent has no reason to cost more, and it doesn't. It's the correct tool for the use case. Link in the description. Amazon ASIN B000 FFLMPK. Best car camping premium. REI Co-op Half Dome 2 Plus. At approximately $229, the Half Dome 2 Plus is where car camping and entry-level backpacking overlap. It's heavier than a true backpacking tent, but the interior space, dual doors, and interior pockets make this a livability upgrade over the Coleman that's worth the premium if you camp 5+ nights per year. For the viewer who wants to car camp this year and start backpacking next year, this is the bridging option. It's heavier than ideal for long trail miles, but it performs adequately under 3 to 4 miles and gives you a significant interior upgrade over entry level. Best backpacking under $200. Big Agnes Copper Spur HV UL2. The Copper Spur HV stands for high volume, which in backpacking tent language means you can actually sit up inside. At its weight class, it delivers more interior livability than any competitor in the sub-3-pound category. Freestanding, 2 doors, 2 vestibules. If there is a tent that makes you forget you traded interior square footage for pack weight, it's this one. Best backpacking premium, MSR Hubba Hubba NX. We covered this in full in episode 1 of Is It Worth It? A link in the description. The short version, at the Hubba Hubba, is the benchmark for 2-person backpacking tents. Hub and pole system, 2 vestibules. If you're doing serious mileage, this is the standard. Grant situation. I want to be transparent about something. I applied the 2-mile framework to my own purchase history and discovered that I have owned 4 tents, 2 backpacking, 2 car camping, across 3 years in which I have camped a total of 4 nights across all categories combined. The average cost per use of my tent collection is $172.50 per night. Linda, is that per tent or total? Grant, total. Linda, that's better. Grant, it's not better. This is the thing the decision framework is supposed to prevent. Buy the right tent for how you actually camp. Then, and this is the part I am actively working on, go camping. The verdict. Buy the car camping tent, Coleman Sundome /REI Half Dome. If your campsite is within 2 miles of the trailhead or a road you camp 1 to 5 nights per year, you want more interior space, budget is under $150, Sundome, or $150 to $300, Half Dome range. Buy the backpacking tent, Big Agnes Copper Spur /MSR Hubba Hubba. If you're hiking more than 2 miles to your site, you camp 6+ nights per year. Weight is a real variable in your pack planning. You're building a kit meant to grow with your camping experience. If you're not sure, buy the car camping tent first. You can always upgrade to a backpacking tent once you know you're putting in the miles. You cannot retroactively make a backpacking tent feel like a car camping setup. Cliffhanger ending. That covers the shelter, but the shelter is only as good as what you put under you. The sleeping pad is the most undervalued purchase in the entire camping kit, and it is also the most frequently replaced after one bad night. Episode 3 of the full kit build series covers sleeping pads, the R-value question, the weight trade-off, and why the $25 foam pad from a garage sale might be the correct answer for where you're starting. That drops Saturday. Subscribe and you'll get it the day it publishes. Grant call to action voice. Full kit build list is at gearmadesimple.com/kit. What to buy first, in what order. Grant has a sleeping